Dr. McCann here, and we're going to take a look at what soda does to your body in just 24 hours. And you might not believe the results. And so yes, I know you've heard that soda and Coke is bad for you over and over and over again. But just stay with me for a few minutes. Let me show you some medical imagery that might change your mind. You pop the top on that cold soda and you love the sip. It's pure bubbly bliss, it's refreshing, it's satisfying, and it brings just a small amount of joy to what's going to be a very long day. And believe me, I get it. But what you have actually done is set off 24 hours of a biological and chemical reactions in your body that your body now has to find a way to manage. So the average can of soda has 140 calories, and these are empty calories, meaning they give you no nutritional value whatsoever, and 39 grams of sugar. Most of the sugar is in the form of the high fructose corn syrup, which is about 55% fructose and 45% glucose, according to what the companies release. However, there are some studies that show there may actually be more fructose in this, but we're not going to get into that. So the first 10 minutes alone, you've hit your body with 10 teaspoons of pure sugar and the reaction begins. You take that first sip of that bubbly bliss, travels down your esophagus where it goes to your stomach, of course, and then into the small intestines. When it's into the small intestines, the glucose is easily absorbed by the small intestine cells called the enterocytes because it has multiple pathways it can use. Fructose has one pathway, so it can get overwhelmed very easy. And herein lies our first problem, is the fructose that is not absorbed continues to go down the intestines and ends up in the colon. So let's take a look at what this does to the colon. Now remember, the colon is full of bacteria called the gut microbiome, and this is essential to maintaining health and whole body health. The fructose, when it's in the colon, can lead to a reduction in the good bacteria and increase the potentially harmful bad bacteria, which are gram-negative bacteria, and they release what's called endotoxins. Yes, I said toxins, and this can go into the bloodstream because they make these cells in the intestines leaky, and it can just escape right there and go into the bloodstream. This activates your immune system, leading to whole body inflammation. It can lead to gut inflammation. It can in turn trigger metabolic disorders like insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, and fatty liver disease, all from your gut. So the more noticeable, more immediate side effects could be bloating, abdominal pain, diarrhea, and gas. Now, let's travel back. So we've just covered problem number one. Let's travel back up to the small intestine from the colon and see what happens to the fructose and the glucose that's absorbed. So here is the metabolic pathway for fructose. We're not going to go over all this. It is a lot. The fructose is generally not used by your body for energy. Your body prefers glucose for energy. So your fructose can be stored in the liver as glycogen, but your body only needs so much stored glucose. So when you get this excessive amount of this fructose, it is stored in your liver as fat, which can lead to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And yes, it actually looks like this, which can lead to scarring in your liver. And so your liver might not function appropriately. And your liver is your major detox organ. Do you really want to cause harm to your detox organ? No. So fructose can lead to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Also, as we see from the metabolic pathways, one of the ways that it's metabolized produces excess uric acid, which can lead to, again, endothelial dysfunction, insulin resistance, and metabolic syndrome. So now we have two ways that fructose leads to insulin resistance and metabolic. Now, as we're about 20 minutes after our first sip, we've talked about the fructose, and the sugar now has flooded your bloodstream. So again, these days, some of the soda companies, specifically Coke, say they are going to start making a pure cane sugar soda. Is this really going to be better for you than the high fructose corn syrup mixture? Don't get your hopes up, okay? It's still going to be unhealthy, and you're still getting a ton of sugar. Now, yes, this sugar can be more absorbed into your bloodstream, However, your body only needs so much glucose. It's insulin that helps your body utilize this glucose to take into cells to either use as energy or as storage. So the energy that you don't need to use is stored in the liver and the muscles. But when there's too much energy, when your storage sites are full, all of this glucose is going to be converted to fat. And it's going to be converted to fat in different places that it's not supposed to be, like around your midsection and around your organs. Also, when your body is chronically exposed to high levels of glucose, it has to secrete high levels of insulin. The insulin receptors stop being as responsive to all of this insulin, and this leads to insulin resistance. And again, with insulin resistance, this also includes the fat cells. The fat cells get insensitive to insulin, so it makes new cells in places that it's not supposed to be, again, like around your midsection and around your organs, which lead to health problems. In addition to this, the insulin enhances your sympathetic activity, which increases plasma noradrenaline levels to stimulate your kidney system, causing sodium and fluid retention, which can lead to hypertension. So let's review this. Basically, what do I hear in the office related to this? I'm not losing weight like I used to. I can't lose weight around my midsection. I'm bloated. I feel swollen. Does any of this sound familiar? Yes, it could be from your soda, especially if you're drinking it daily. So now, within the first 20 to 30 minutes, we've covered how it affects your gut, how it affects your liver, how it affects your whole body systems, and there's one more less important effect, and that's on your brain. So within 40 minutes, you have now absorbed the caffeine, and you may feel some energy. You may feel alertness. By 45 minutes, your brain chemistry starts to change. Fructose and sucrose act on the dopamine pathways, which is your reward pathways in the brain, and this is the neurotransmitter linked to pleasure. So these drinks tell your body that it makes you feel great and you want to keep doing it, and this is why it's so hard to quit. Also in the brain, it affects the satiety or hunger pathway, causing leptin resistance, and your body doesn't know it's full, so you want to keep eating. So after about an hour after that first sip of that bubbly goodness, artificially induced party is now over, and your body starts to feel the consequences. Your sugar crash starts. You might feel irritable, sluggish, tired. The caffeine by this point starts acting like a diuretic, so you're urinating more and you may be a little dehydrated, also leading to fatigue. And then you're also left with the long-term hazards, including, as we talked about, increased fat, because we've got to store all that glucose somewhere, increased fat in the liver, increased fat around your abdomen and around your organs. Insulin resistance, making it harder to lose weight, leading to potentially type 2 diabetes, weight gain, and frequent intense feelings of hunger because your body doesn't recognize that it doesn't need to eat. So in conclusion, 1 or 2 sodas every once in a while, that's fine. But if it becomes a daily habit, and especially more than once a day, there can be long-term consequences. From the 10-minute sugar hit to the 45-minute dopamine release, it reinforces cravings, and the eventual crash leaves you feel drained. And a single can of soda can set off a chain reaction and metabolic disruption. It puts your liver on high alert, it plays havoc with your hormones, and it depletes resources that your body needs. So when this becomes a daily ritual, the effects can build up, increasing the risk of chronic diseases like obesity, diabetes, and heart disease.